Hello everyone, and welcome in for episode 1. I am your host, Moto, here for the Moto Minute, bringing you some hot topics across the motocross and supercross world. This week we're looking ahead to Anaheim 1. Best week of the year. This is like Christmas for motocross and supercross fans. It's just a few weeks after. But I'm excited to dive into it, figure out what all we got going on for this upcoming season. First, we're going to run down a preview, kind of where everyone sits, probably the top 8, 9 guys, see where everyone sits coming into the year, updates on everyone, little clip here and there, how everyone's looking on the new bikes, new setups, some people on the old, same old, but we're going to see how it's going. I'll give you my predictions for Anaheim 1. I'll give you my predictions for the entire Supercross season as far as the points go. It's gonna be a ball. So let's get on into it here. We're going to be focusing on the 450 class mainly, so bear with me if we don't mention your favorite 250 riders, but let's get into this preview, get it rock and rolling here. We obviously got to start with the big number 1 coming into the season. That's going to be our man, Chase Sexton. We all know and love him for some of the things that he's done, but let's get into it with some big changes coming this season. You're gonna see Chase Sexton here on his Honda from last season, making the big change over to KTM for this coming year. Gonna be rocking the number 1 on the orange bike. We're gonna have to see how that fares for him. It's a big change for Chase Sexton. A lot of talk last year about the bike, his setup, some of the mistakes that may have come from a combination of him and the bike. But I think coming into this year, we're gonna have to just acknowledge that Chase Sexton hopefully will be on to bigger and better things on the KTM, but from some of the off-season buzz, I'm not sure if that's going to be the case, at least right from the start. We may see him have to work into some of his old form as far as speed-wise. I feel like you might see a more consistent Sexton, one that's off the ground a little more than he was last year, but other than that, we're gonna go in, have to see how he's doing. Hopefully he's comfy on the new bike and can find his old form, but gonna be shining with that big number 1 on the KTM. Next up is the fan favorite. Everyone's talking about the rookie, Jet Lawrence, coming into this season. Man, oh man, does anyone have as much hype as this guy? Undefeated rookie 450 outdoor season. There's really not much more you can say about it. The guy dominated his opening 450 season. And we're gonna have to see if he can carry that form into this Supercross season or not. That's gonna be a big adjustment for him. Just Supercross in general. We got to see him at some of those SMX rounds. Again, he's a rookie in the Supercross class, but man, there's never been a guy I think this hyped and deservingly so. So I'm excited to see Jet kick it off and see how he can get rolling. Next up is the man that needs no introduction. This guy was running the number 1 last season. This is big bad Eli Tomac, coming off of an Achilles injury that, man, many thought might end his career, but came back in really, honestly, phenomenal time for an injury like that. And really the only thing left to be proved to us and everyone else is, can he find his old form? The guy is incredible. He's in a class of his own as far as speed and everything else when he's on it. So I'm interested to see that. Honestly, the 3 that we just mentioned there, I think is going to be our front pack, Sexton, Tomac, and Jet. I'm just interested to see how they all mesh together and can find their spot this coming season. I think all of them have something to prove here, especially Sexton off the championship, Jet as a rookie, and then Tomac coming off the injury. They really all have something meaningful to fight for this year, championship aside. Next up, we're going to get into kind of the second group that I would say. That's going to include a former champion, one guy that I always root for, Cooper Webb. This guy's a racer. We know that. Once it comes out, he's going to get on the gate. He's going to go for it. And there is not much anyone can do to stop the guy once he gets up into form. He's made a big bike switch back to the team that gave him his first shot as a pro coming out of amateurs, Star Racing Yamaha. We know that he wanted to get on the bike. Can he do it? Can he make some vast improvements over last year where he was in the title fight? I'm not sure, but we're going to find out. Next up on the list, we have a fan favorite here, Ken Roczen, the 94 on the Suzuki. This guy is fun to watch. he's finally at home on the Suzuki. Coming in last season, he definitely looked a bit out of sorts when we were first getting going in the Supercross season, but he really found his way middle to the later half of the season, even in doing some outdoors and World Supercross. He really started to look like the Ken Roczen of old. I'm excited to see what he can bring to the series. I think right from the get-go, Kenny is going to be just firing on all cylinders. Not a ton's changed. He's coming in with confidence, knows what his bike's going to do, knows what he wants to do. I look for a really strong start from Ken Roczen this season. Excuse me. Next up, we have one of the bad boys that had a pretty mellow season last season, Jason Anderson. Definitely looking for a turnaround coming off of a disappointing 23 season, after a really exciting 2022. Bunch of wins in 22. Really kind of disappointed this last season. I think a lot of it was bike setup, so we're going to have to see. He's not on the BFRC shock this season, so I think that will play into his comfortability on the bike, and we'll really just have to go from there. But I definitely think Anderson's going to be in for a strong season, at least a win or two, but definitely better than 23. He's on a brand new 2024 Cowie. From all accounts, the bike is awesome in Supercross, so look for Jason Anderson to improve on his 2023 season. After that, we've got the man, the myth, the Bam Bam, Justin Barcia, coming off a 1 win last season, 5th in points. This guy is a showstopper. He's a fun guy. You just hope he can rip a start, get up front, show us what he's all about. Justin Barcia, the series is better when he's up front. I look for a really fun season from the Gas team, especially Barcia here. He is staying on his old frame. He's not moving to the new factory edition KTM frame that Sexton and AP and those guys are going to be on. So look for a strong, stable start. He knows what his bike's going to do. He knows what he's riding. I look for Bam Bam to have an interesting season. He showed some speed that we hadn't seen in a couple of years last season, so I think, if anything, he's got a strong building and starting platform, so look for good things from Barcia this coming season. Next on our list, the little brother. The older brother to the little brother, who everyone's talking about. That's going to be Hunter Lawrence, coming in with everyone looking at his brother as a rookie in the 450 Supercross class. Jet garnering all the attention for good reason. I think Hunter's going to have a banger of a season. He's really looked on really good form in Paris Supercross earlier this off season, and I think bright things are going to come from him. I'm not sure if that's wins or podiums, especially not in his rookie season, but I think you're going to see a really quick adaptation of the 450 class in that bike. And sky's the limit for Hunter. He's a good dude, good head on his shoulders, and he's got someone in the same truck taking all the pressure off him. So look for Hunter to have a really good rookie 450 season here. Last up on my list here, this guy needs no introduction. This is Mookie Fever. He's a fan favorite for a lot of us. Always fast, always fun to watch. Came out of the gates swinging last season. When I say swinging, I mean swinging. One of the fastest guys, led some of the main event, fought for the lead with Sexton before a mistake happened. I think he won his heat race at round 2, if I remember right. The man was on it last season. If that's any indication how this season's going to start and hopefully go with a healthier stretch to it, I look for really big things out of Mookie Fever here. There is not many people, I think, want to see win more than Malcolm Stewart. That's a guy who's obviously well known for his brother James and kind of carried that shadow for a bunch of years of his career, but he's really finally broken out and proven to be his own guy. I'm excited. I'm excited to say the least. A couple more that we don't have clips of here, but we'll just talk about briefly. Adam Cincerillo, AC. Rookie, not rookie. Amateur phenom coming out. Injuries hit him. Some great stretches of his career, some not so great stretches. Adam Cincerillo came off a really solid but less impressive season last season, and I look for him to kind of build on that some more. He's had some nerve and hand issues that have held him back in recent years, and I think he's kind of just found his comfort spot. Might be able to build on it as time goes and maybe some injuries pile up, but I think just look for a strong, steady AC this season. Next up, we mentioned him briefly earlier, Chase Sexton's KTM teammate, Aaron Plessinger. Let's go. I almost said AP. I was like, I should probably say his name. But AP, Aaron Plessinger, fan favorite. The man's a dancer. He's a prancer. He almost got that first win last season. Oh, so close. Man, if there's one guy, along with Malcolm Stewart, that the fans would love to see win, I think that's definitely Aaron Plessinger. He's just a fun, lighthearted, really good personality that we have in the sport. So, man, everyone's going to be cheering for you, AP. Let's see if you can get it done this season on the KTM. Couple more guys just real quick. We have Dylan Ferrandis, the 450 outdoor champ from a few seasons ago, looking to finally make his mark in Supercross. Had a few podiums here and there, but he has made a big switch to a privateer Honda team. The Phoenix Honda team is going to be a big change coming off of Star Yamaha. Seems to be really, really in love with his Honda, saying all the right things coming into the season. The guy who wanted to be on a Honda, he got on a Honda. Let's see what he can do with it. Malcolm Stewart's teammate, Christian Craig, had a really, really interesting start. Looked fast in practice today, won last year. I think a wreck in the main event had him come back in the outside of the top 10. After that, he never got it really back on the rails. So, Christian, we're looking for a good season from you. I think he should be more comfortable on the bike this coming season. Let's see what Christian Craig can pop into results-wise and hopefully return some good results. Next on the list, I have Justin Hill. Snagged a podium at the end of the season. Who saw that coming? Check that off on the bingo card last season. You might have been a millionaire. I don't know. You had the sports almanac from the future if you saw Justin Hill getting the podium. But in all seriousness, back on Team Tedder, should be comfortable. Look for him to maybe start a little slower than he ended, but if injuries pile up or the field thins out, look for Hill to just keep building and building and building. And even without some injuries, he could sneak in some good results here and there. This next guy, is probably one of the few guys that everyone across the world is going to be watching closely come the gate drop at Anaheim. Jorge Prado, reigning MXGP champion, coming over, taking a swing at Supercross. You tell me he gets a 5th, I'm going to be impressed. You tell me he gets a 10th, I believe it. You tell me he doesn't make a main event, I believe that too. I don't know where he's coming in. I personally have him slotted between 10 and 15, at least at the first round or two. Maybe as he finds his footing, gets a little more used to Supercross and actually racing on a track instead of just practicing. Maybe he can get a good start and build on that a little bit. But, I mean, honestly, you could tell me anything for Prado, and I'd probably believe it. So, look for him to make a strong bid in his three-race effort that they're putting in here, the Gas team and Prado. And I believe we're going to see him full-time over here in 2025. So, if anything, this is just stepping stones building for a full season in the U.S. next season. Last guy on my list is just a quick preview of the guy. Justin Cooper did a quick cameo here and there for the 450 class for Star last season. They didn't give him the full opportunity to race out the season, but man, did he look good. He was top 10, I think, his first 3 or 4 races in a row last season. So kind of sneaky there that people aren't talking about. We know he's got a good bike. Justin Cooper's always in shape. He's a great starter, and he got his feet wet last season. Look for J. Coop to have I think he has a good season. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. You might look up at the end of the night at Anaheim and be like, Justin Cooper is 6th? What the? But in all seriousness, I don't think you can be surprised at anything from Coop. He's, like I said, great starter, good fitness, good bike. Got some experience last season, so it shouldn't be a shock to him like most rookies or younger riders. So look for a good season from Justin Cooper. Going off of that, though, let's get into some predictions. We're going to toss out the Anaheim 1 predictions first. And this could definitely shock some people. But let's see what y'all think about my Anaheim 1 predictions. As far as The series and everything, we'll get into that, but I think Anaheim 1, it's a special monster in itself. There's a few things that you always notice. There's guys that are more ready than others. That's the case in anything. But the guys that seem to not have the championship pressure necessarily seem to rise to the top a little more. So I look for a surprise result or two. But for the most part, we have a really deep and fun stacked class. So I think it's going to be interesting to watch. But my Anaheim 1 predictions here. First, I have Jet Lawrence winning. I think he comes out, makes a statement. I mean, if he struggles throughout the day or doesn't have it, you might look for him to kind of back it down and just play it safe championship-wise. But I think based on what I saw in the offseason, at the end of the season of SMX, I think Jet's going to come out swinging and try to make a statement round 1. Second, I have Mookie Fever. Talk about flying at the test track this offseason. Malcolm Stewart has been garnering all the attention. This man flying under the radar after an injury last season, but holy heck, that didn't last long. Everyone is saying how fast Malcolm Stewart is. Based on what we saw last season, I think he comes out swinging. You could tell me he wins. You could tell me he crashes out and gets 20th. I would believe both, but right now, I have him slotted second right behind Jet. I think he has a solid ride, maybe even challenges Jet or starts up front and maybe loses it late to him. But I have Malcolm getting second. Third is going to be Tomac. I think he's got a point to prove just to tell everyone that, hey, I'm Eli Tomac, and I'm still here for this championship. Not a great A1 rider typically, but coming off of a good one last year for the first time in forever, after mistakes from Sexton and Mookie, actually, in the race last season, I think Tomac's got a point to prove, and I think a solid podium gets him off on the right foot. Kind of fly through the rest of these here. Roczen I have fourth just because it's Ken Roczen. He's coming in comfortable. He knows his bike, and he knows exactly what he wants to do, how he's going to do it. I think a fourth is a great start for Ken Roczen this season. Fifth, we have the new Star Racing Yamaha rider, Cooper Webb. This guy, he's a gamer. It doesn't matter if he's 12th in practice all day. I'm going to feel comfortable with this fifth place. Cooper Webb knows how to get it done when the gate drops. Don't forget that all day as you're making fantasy picks, as you're talking bench racing with your buddies. Cooper Webb is a gamer, and I look for him to be fifth at Anaheim 1. My sixth place at Anaheim 1 is going to be the new KTM rider wearing that number 1 plate. I think he struggles a bit all day with bike setup and just being on the new team, new bike. I think sixth is where I see Chase Sexton slot again. May not sound amazing for a defending champ, but it's something to build on. It's not the end of the world if you're 5th, 6th, 7th there at the first round. I look for Sexton to be 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there, but I'm going to slot him at 6 for this. In 7th place for Anaheim 1, I have Jason Anderson. He's on that new 2024 Kawasaki, not running the BFRC shock anymore. He should be way more comfortable. The platform, from all accounts, is a great Supercross bike. Jason Anderson, solid ride in 7th, and I think he has a nice day and builds on it for the rest of the season. 8th, we're going to have Bam Justin Barcia. Still riding the old framed gas instead of switching over to the new KTM frame, the new frame that the new group's going to be riding, Sexton and some of those guys. I have Barcia 8th here. Historically a great Anaheim 1 rider. If he pulls out a 2nd or a 3rd or a 4th, don't sit here claiming I hate Barcia, because I don't. He's the man. But I think with this field right now, an 8th is a good and honest result. 9th, I have Jet's brother. I have Hunter Lawrence finishing 9th. Debut 450 ride here other than Paris Supercross, which he looked really good, was battling with his brother and Ken Roczen. I think a 9th is a solid and respectable start to the season for Hunter Lawrence in his rookie 450 series. So look for Hunter to be strongly inside the top 10 there and have a good ride. Last, I mentioned this guy a little bit earlier, Justin Cooper. This guy, in his couple of appearances last season in the 450 class, looked strong. He looked consistent. He looked fit. I look for a really good season from J. Coop. I think you're going to see him in the top 10 a lot, and I think he starts that at Anaheim 1 with a 10. That's the predictions for Anaheim 1 here, everyone. I don't know how you guys feel as far as what my thoughts and predictions were on everything there. You can slide a lot of those guys 3-4 slots up and down, but at the end of the day, we're all just kind of guessing and hoping and using the knowledge that we have at hand. So those are my Anaheim 1 predictions. Let's get into some season predictions here, and then we'll get it rolling. Oh man, this is always one of the hardest things to do in sports. To predict something season long before the season even starts. My 2024 Moto Minute Supercross Series predictions. Controversial, I know. I have Jet winning it. Jet Lawrence will win this title in his rookie season, becoming, I think, the maybe 3rd or 4th rookie to ever do it in the 450 class in Supercross. I have Jet doing it. He's a generational talent. Jet Lawrence, number 1 for the 450 Supercross season. Second in points, I have a very respectable finish from Eli Tomac. Coming off an Achilles injury in 23 that cut his season short. He had I believe, an 18-point lead when he got hurt. The guy has something to prove. I just don't know if he's going to match up to Jet over an entire series. The young and spunky kid is going to give him all he can handle. I have Eli Tomac finishing a close second to Jet in the championship, and there's nothing wrong with that. You gotta show him some love. Good ride for Tomac coming back. Just respect for him for even coming back this season. A lot of us thought that Achilles injury ended his career. I'm stoked he's back. I'm happy for him. I have him finishing 2nd on the season. 3rd, I have our reigning champ, our defending champ, Chase Sexton, on his new ride on the KTM. You might be wondering, I have him finishing 6th at Anaheim 1, but 3rd in the championship? That's simply because I think he's just going to get better from the start of the season on. Chase Sexton is a proven commodity in the 450 class, knows how to get the job done. He will win races. He will be fast. I just think it takes a couple of weeks to shake the bike down, and that might be all the edge that Tomac and Jet need to separate themselves in the championship points. So I have Chase Sexton 3rd in the championship. 4th, we have my boy Coop. Coop switching over to the Star Yamaha. He's just a gamer. He's always there for the whole season. You tell me he wins, I don't even bat an eye. You tell me he's 4th or 5th, I don't bat an eye either. I think on the Star Yamaha, he's going to put in some really strong results. I think the bike suits a lot of the things that Cooper Webb likes to do. I look for him to have a strong season, grab a couple of wins, be on the podium a good bit, and finish 4th in the series. 5th, I have Malcolm Stewart. Hopefully, for the love of everyone that loves Malcolm and watching him ride, he has a healthy, successful season this year. I think he finally gets that elusive first win. Malcolm Stewart is just someone that we can all root for. I hope and I just really want to see him finish out the season because I think he's got the speed to contend for wins. I think he's got the fitness. He's got the program with the Alden Baker program there to sustain it through a whole Supercross season and really make something of himself and give himself something to build on for the future. So that is my Supercross series predictions here for the 2024 Supercross season. Man, I'm excited. I can't wait to get this off and going. Anaheim 1 should be great. Guys, make sure you keep up with me for updates. We may be doing watch parties here for the Supercross season. Check out kick.com/imoto. That's for some of the live streams. If we are doing watch parties, anything, hop in the Discord channel. Check me out on Twitter at imoto36. And other than that, I just appreciate everyone being here for the Moto Minute, Episode 1, Supercross Season Preview for 2024. Thank you guys, and catch you later.